The life and death of Michael Jackson. Known as the King of Pop, Michael Jackson was a best-selling American singer, songwriter, and dancer. As a child, Jackson became the lead singer of his family's popular Motown group, the Jackson 5. He went on to a solo career of astonishing worldwide success, delivering #1 hits from the albums Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad. In his later years, Jackson was dogged by allegations of child molestation. He died in 2009 at age 50 of a drug overdose just before launching a comeback tour. So let's take a short look at the life and death of Michael Jackson and things you didn't know about him. Michael Joe Jackson was born in Gary, Indiana on August 29, 1958. His house was always filled with music. Jackson's mother taught the children folk and religious songs. The Jackson boys soon formed a family band that became a success at amateur shows and talent contests. From the age of 5, Michael's amazing talent showed itself. His dancing and stage presence caused him to become the focus of the group. By 1970, the group, known as the Jackson 5, was topping the charts and riding a wave of popularity, with hits such as ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There, each of which sold over 1 million copies. While working on The Wiz, Jackson met producer Quincy Jones. They worked together on Jackson's 1979 album Off the Wall, which sold 10 million copies and earned critical praise. In 1982, Jackson and Jones again joined forces on the Thriller album. Thriller fully established Jackson as a solo performer, and his hit songs from the album, Beat It, Billie Jean, and Thriller, made him the major pop star of the early 1980s. The success of Thriller, with 40 million copies sold, remains one of the best-selling albums of all time. Jackson's next 2 albums, Bad and Dangerous, were not as hugely successful as Thriller, but Jackson remained in the spotlight throughout the 1980s and into the 1990s. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, Jackson developed a reputation as an eccentric recluse. He moved to a 2,700-acre ranch called Neverland, which he outfitted with wild animals and a Ferris wheel. He was a big animal lover, and his most famous pet was Bubbles, the chimpanzee. The duo walked down red carpets, made public appearances together, and ate at the same dinner table every night. Bubbles was even taught how to do the moonwalk. Despite Jackson's popularity and good works, he became the subject of a major scandal. In 1993, a 13-year-old boy accused Jackson of sexually abusing him. The Los Angeles Times reports that the LAPD has begun investigating Jackson based on allegations that he possibly molested 4 children, including a 13-year-old boy. The following year, Jackson settled the case out of court with the boy's family. Other allegations emerged, but Jackson maintained his innocence. In 1995, Jackson was criticized following the release of his new album, His Story, Past, Present, and Future, Book 1. One of the songs on the album, They Don't Care About Us, seemed to contain anti-Semitic words. To avoid further criticism, Jackson changed the lyrics. In 1994, Jackson shocked the world when he married Lisa Marie Presley, daughter of the late rock legend Elvis Presley. Many felt that the marriage was an attempt to improve his public image. Jackson and his brothers were elected to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, Ohio in 1997. Later that year, another album, Blood on the Dance Floor, History in the Mix, was released. The album received good reviews, and the world continued to be fascinated by the talent and career of Michael Jackson. It won't come as a surprise that Michael Jackson is the most awarded artist of all time, with 23 Guinness World Records, 40 Billboard Awards, 13 Grammys, and 26 American Music Awards. He's won more awards than any other artist. By the turn of the century, Jackson was increasingly becoming known for his eccentricities, which included wearing a surgical mask in public. In the aftermath of his 2005 trial for child molestation, Jackson's reputation was effectively destroyed and his finances were in shambles. In even greater financial straits, Jackson defaulted on the $24.5 million loan he owed on the Neverland Ranch in 2008. He also faced a $7 million lawsuit from his friend for reneging on his promises. Around the same time, he announced that he'd be performing a series of concerts as his final curtain call. Set to appear at the O2 Arena in London beginning July 8, 2009, Jackson saw all his tickets to his This Is It tour sold out in only 4 hours. Sadly, Jackson would never get to experience the anticipated success of his comeback tour, as he died in June of that same year. Jackson died on June 25, 2009 at the age of 50, after suffering a cardiac arrest in his Los Angeles home. On July 7, 2009, a televised memorial was held for fans of the King of Pop at the Staples Center in downtown Los Angeles. While 17,500 free tickets were issued to fans via lottery, an estimated 1 billion viewers watched the memorial on TV or online. Jackson's death resulted in an outpouring of public grief and sympathy. In February 2010, an official coroner's report revealed Jackson's cause of death was acute propofol intoxication, or a lethal overdose of a prescription drug cocktail including the sedatives midazolam, diazepam, and lidocaine. This is all about the life and death of Michael Jackson. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting future videos.